Hey, it's Joseph here. It's been a while since I've done my last recording since it has been difficult to put myself locked up in this room and doing recording. I have been spending way too much time in this room doing my day job stuff, working remotely given the circumstances. I apologize for not getting around, but here's a content that I have been asked multiple times in the comments. Oculus Quest. What you're seeing in front of me is the VR headset that I would recommend for architectural purposes. There are a few other bits of accessories that you're going to need with this, which I will cover later in the video, but pretty much this is a whole package that you're going to have to carry around for architectural purposes. And let's not forget another headset that's sitting over there. So that has been my go-to and recommendation for architectural purposes, HP mixed reality headset. But after this video, I'm gonna dethrone that one and then put this one on a spotlight. So there's gonna be a few different aspects that I'm gonna cover in this video. The first one is going to be the design and build quality, and the second one is going to be the image quality of the headset, and then the third one will be the portability of the entire kit, and then the compatibility of those with the existing softwares and the hardwares that you may have. And you're almost assumed to connect this via Quest link, which is using a cable to connect to a computer to have much better visual fidelity. So that is another aspect that I'm going to cover in this video as well. So as a first, let's look at the design and the build quality of the headset. I really do appreciate the dark gray and the black that this headset has. It is professional looking, it's simple, and it is not flashy at all. I've seen some VR headsets that are geared towards gaming and it is too much flashy and it kind of makes you look funny as well. There's some that has like eyes on the headset, so I think this won't make you look funny wearing it, although I've seen some people putting some sticker on the front that has like eyeballs or something that makes you look goofy and stuff. That is for leisure and entertainment. For professional usage, this is completely suitable, so I really appreciate the overall looks. So there's going to be several lenses on the front of the headset, and there's going to be a USB-C charging cable, and then a button to turn on and off. And then there's going to be volume button here, and then this is IPD adjustment, so you can physically adjust the lens distance for your eye distance in between. So looking at inside, it is two big lenses where you're going to see the image from. Actually, this headset came with this sort of fabric material on your face cover, which I was concerned about. You know, when you sweat, it's gonna get dirty. You can take it off. However, I was worried about hygienes and if multiple people are gonna use, since it is assumed for architectural purposes. So I got this really cheap silicone cover that I can put on top of the headset. Let me just put this aside for now. And then there's a little sensor in the middle of the lenses where it's going to detect whether you're wearing it or not. And the headband will go up and down to allow you wear and take it off easily. And there's gonna be adjustment available here. It is just a Velcro, and then you can adjust, and it is sort of spring loaded. And also here is a Velcro again, where you can adjust the headband that goes on top of your head. And I actually don't really prefer this headband design because I find it difficult using it for multiple people in quick succession, because you have to adjust all of this depending on their head size. If somebody with a small head wears it, and then if I try to fit it in my giant head, I have to adjust many things before putting it on. The spring load on the side actually catches your hair, and it can be painful at times as well. So I much prefer the hard head knob design that HP Mixed Reality had. Although for prolonged usage of the headset, I find this one more comfortable than that specific design. But for architectural presentation purposes, you're not going to be in the headset for hours. You're probably going to look at it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes tops, and you're gonna have to try on multiple people. Therefore, being able to adjust it quickly regardless of your head size is a lot better. If it was possible to switch it out for a more simpler headband, I think that would have been great. I can easily spend some money to do that since I will be using for that specific purpose. And there are some hacks out there. People are replacing this headband because they also find the weight to be too much on the front, therefore they're feeling a lot of pressure on their face, therefore trying to counterweight. They try to put a battery bank on the back, so they just kind of counterweight, take this out and 3D print something and then put different hairband onto here. And one that I have seen was actually meant for HTC Vive, and then they use those headband on here for better comfort, but that also doesn't really solve my problem because it has a complex headband design as well. I think I much prefer a simpler hairband where it doesn't have the center one on top and then doesn't require Velcro or other adjustments. A simple knob to turn and adjust to your head size would be much more preferred. And by the way, I really like the fact that it has a speaker built in into the headband. If you have this headphones that are sticking out on either side, it makes it that much more difficult to put it on the people who's not familiar with VR or people who's not comfortable doing it. I think the smaller the package, the better it is. So I think that was a right choice. So enough about the headset, let's move on to the controller. First of all, one thing that may stick out to you is the fact that I have different band design. The one that it came with the controller itself was not like this where you just put it around your wrist and hold onto the controller, and because of the band it prevents it from falling onto the floor, but I still found it dangling and kind of annoying. So I have this design where it goes around your hand and it is adjustable with the Velcro, and then you can just let go of the controller without risking it falling. However, for architectural presentation purposes, you probably don't need this, and if you don't, you can just simply undo this by, and there it is. And one thing I wish it had was rather write out R or L for right and left hand clearly on the controller itself, because I find myself handing over to the client or someone who's supposed to view it in VR the wrong one. So I always kind of have to put it on my hand, okay, that's the right one, and then I give it to their right hand versus the left hand. I always confuse them, and it's kind of hard to tell which is right way. So I suppose you can write it out on here somewhere, but I haven't done that yet, but I may get around doing so. And I really like the fact that it just stays upside down like that, so you can quickly pick it up if you need to. And all the controls are very comfortable, although I haven't really played much of the games. So those are my opinions about the design of the controllers. And since we mentioned about the Knuckle band, there's something that I want to mention. So I have received these little packages from Kiwi Design about VR. I haven't really unboxed it and I haven't really tested it yet, so I wanted to include that segment inside of this video. So here it is. This one is Kiwi Oculus Quest facial interface bracket and face cover pad set. This allows you to have extra breathing room, so if you're the type of person like me who sweats a lot, this is gonna do that job for you. So let's just open that up. So as I have said before, this facial mask is actually replaceable, so you can just kind of pull it out and it'll just come right off. Just be careful not to touch the lenses as they are somewhat fragile. So I see additional vents that is here where it's gonna allow additional airflow so that you can just let out some heat, if you may. So I'm just gonna try and push that in and see if it fits. There you go, it just clicks in, and there is a additional pad. This is more wipeable material where it doesn't absorb the water, so I much prefer this one. And there's again Velcro that you can attach, so I actually like that. I always had this sort of design on other headsets, so I'm gonna try and do that here as well. And it seems like there's extra for you to replace with whilst you're cleaning the other one, so which is good. And I'm not so sure what this is, or I think this is a nose piece. I guess this is there to prevent the light leaks. It kind of makes sense to have the vent on top since heat is going to rise. Okay, that is actually feeling comfortable. So that is looking good. I need to figure out what this is. It looks like some sort of wrist pad for mouse. It says it is VR lens cover. So I suppose I can use that to cover the lenses whilst in transport. Oh, that's actually smart. It says, after games, install our VR lens cover on Oculus Quest glasses to protect it from scratches, dirt, and dust. Good idea. So I'm gonna keep that on and keep this one as a spare. So there you go. Pretty clever. You just cover it and make sure it's off afterwards. But this is what it looks like and it feels good. So thank you, Kiwi Design, for sending me this. Let's try other ones. So this is actually Oculus Quest and Rift S touch controller knuckle straps, and it is very similar to the one that I had. Let's see if it is any better. So there's 2 straps included for each controller and 2 rubber bands for replacement, I guess, just in case. So this one here is much better quality. Everything is finished nicely. I really like the feel of this band material here. I can see that this is a button, so you can just kind of remove or replace the rubber band if you need to. So I can just put this on here. And then I'm just gonna use this band and then put it on to underside of this O-ring here. Put it around my wrist. Put this up. Not too tight, but just comfortable. There you go. It's a lot simpler. I'll have to do that onto the other controller too. There you go. And there's another package which is called V2 Silent VR Cables, retractable ceiling cable management system. So I can't really showcase this one, but I can show you what's in the box. So the main one that you're gonna see inside here is the retractable cable. You basically hook this onto the ceiling, and then whatever the cabling that you need for your VR headset. And then as you walk around inside a room, your cable is pulling from the ceiling rather than dragging on the floor and risking you from either damaging your equipment or yourself by tripping over. Actually, it feels quite nice quality. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 included in the box. And then it has some anchors, and then ring, and then J hooks that you just tie into ceiling or wall, and then a manual along with these sticky pads that you can just put it on. It's just a hook. So I think this will be incredibly useful if you're planning to have your room retrofit into VR room, or if you have a room dedicated at your company where a client often comes over for VR setup, then this would be really useful to make sure you retrofit the entire room with the correct cabling on the ceiling. I'm not gonna spend time putting this on my new purchased home, so I'm just putting it into the box for now. So shout out to Kiwi Design, who sent me a couple of useful accessories that I'm going to use personally and also showcase to you. I'm gonna move on to the other stuff. So the next thing that I want to mention is actually the image quality of the headset. I am happy to report that it has very satisfying image, and other headsets such as HTC Vive Pro and Valve Index is gonna give you a lot better visual fidelity. If you're not comparing apples to apples and you're just doing architectural presentations, you don't really need that much of a visual depth in order to convince the spatial experience that you need. So I found the image quality of Oculus Quest to be sufficient for architectural presentation purposes. And I also believe that it was a good decision for Oculus to go for not necessarily the best visual quality, but perhaps happy middle, if you may, because this headset was initially meant for untethered experience. So doing a lot of those computation for higher visual quality would have been really difficult for this tiny little processors to do. And with that said, if you connect your headset to your computer via a link, you can have much better visual quality because the screen inside of the headset does have a very good output. So I am happy to report that image or visual quality of the headset was more than adequate for architectural presentations. And then moving on to portability. I used to pack that headset over there into a little lunchbox. Let me show you. It was quite full when I put it in there, but when I put this Oculus headset, there's a lot of leftover space, so I packed extra cables and batteries and whatnot into here so I can carry it around. There is a OEM made or native case that is meant for Oculus Quest. However, I don't want to spend another $40 trying to buy that thing, whereas I have already a very adequate bag, so I just use this one. But if you need a carrying case, I suppose you can buy the one that Oculus makes. All I carry is the headset itself and then the controllers, and I actually carry a cable as well. So you can see this cable is not too long, but it's fairly long so that it allows you to connect this and then still kind of walk around a bit. But here at the end, I have this L USB-C adapter on the end of the cable. By the way, this is not the official Oculus Link cable. This is the one made from Anker. So I use this cable and I just attach this little L USB-C adapter here and then connect to one side of the headset like so that the cable just comes backwards instead of going up or down. I think I have less chance of knocking this cable out if that is the case. And then there's very useful Velcro that Anker sends with the cable, and I actually attach this to the top or the side of the headband. Sometimes I prefer to put this on the side so that the cable is neatly around, but I found that it actually pulls from my side if I have the cable dangling rather than behind me. So I'd rather have this on the center like so, and the Velcro could attach the same Velcro that the headset has, or you can just wrap it around like so. That way you have some slack just in case it kind of pulls, and I just put that around my head. And the other side is actually USB 3 type A port, and I can just connect this into my desktop or laptop as long as they're USB 3. It's been working very well in terms of link connection. I wanted to cover that separately, but I guess it is part of the portability. So once I am done, I just unwrap this. So that's all I need: the headset, the cable, and then the controllers, and whatever the computer that you decide to carry, whether it be a laptop or a desktop, or if you have a computer over there, then you don't have to carry it. And all of these nicely packs into a lunchbox. To showcase the compatibility, it's gonna be a little bit difficult because I'm gonna have to record in different methods and show you differently, but I'll do my best here. So there's actually a very limited amount of architectural softwares that works in the Oculus Quest natively, meaning you don't need extra cables or machine to connect to. It just works by itself. And there's actually two softwares out there that I'm aware that works. The first one is IrisVR. It works flawlessly. I have tested different things and I don't see any difference in terms of visual quality. So I find it really suitable if you're looking for multiple VR conference setup. That is the go-to software. And the second one is Arkio. I understand it is still in beta, but you can test it. Basically, you can do designs inside of VR. So just like VR sketching or VR drawing, and do a lot of massing inside of the VR. I found it really useful doing concepts, and you can go between some other architectural software such as Revit and SketchUp, mask those out, import, export, and you can also hold multiple people conference setup so people are feedbacking on top of your massing design. So I see a lot of potential there. I'll leave a link into those two softwares in the description for you guys to check it out if you find those things interesting. And with that said, let's move on to the link. So Oculus Quest link, I'll just call it the link. Link means that you're going to connect some sort of cable that is compatible with your Oculus Quest to your computer. It could be a laptop, it could be a desktop, but it's gotta have a good graphics card and computing power. The compatibility list is online. You can check it out by searching Oculus Quest link. And I think the threshold is GTX 1060. None of the laptops with 1060 will work, but the desktop grade of graphics card 1060 will work. And then I think it has to be like 1070 for a laptop version to work. So it's kind of complex, but you can check it out if you need to, or you can just try it out and test it if it works. But for me, I actually was able to test my other laptop with RTX 2060 and Oculus Link worked fine. I have a desktop with 2080 Super and it also works fine with that as well. Probably isn't overkill at that point. So once you factor in the Quest Link cable into your setup, then you can use everything in your Steam library and Oculus library. That works for Oculus Rift because it behaves just like Oculus Rift. So everything is going to work. Nonetheless, VR setup always been somewhat complex anyways, but if you have a working computer that is compatible with most of the VR, then you can just connect it with one single cable and get the job done. Not to mention there's additional type of softwares that you can use untethered because this works by itself. So this is sort of all-in-one solution that is out there right now. And actually there's another thing that I want to mention is actually the hand tracking. So as soon as you let go of your controllers and set it down somewhere, Oculus Quest is going to register your hand motions. So you can grab onto things, you can click onto things, and you can actually grab something in the throw as well. It registers really well. The processor inside of your Oculus Quest is going to compute and try and detect what your hand is doing, and I found it very intuitive. And someone who's not acquainted with the controllers themselves, the hand gesture is going to be really intuitive, and I think there's a lot of potential out there. However, hand tracking only is functional for a very handful of native games on Oculus Quest, so it is to be seen, but just be aware that it is out there. So all in all, I think that sums up my experience with Oculus Quest so far. I haven't been able to spend as much time as I would like to. I do want to play some games and get into it since I have a hardware, why not? But also test out a lot of VR softwares out there that are meant for architecture and showcase to you too. So there's gonna be several follow-up videos, but the ones that I want to do and explore is obviously Enscape that I always use, and the SketchUp native VR solutions, and then Prospect from IrisVR, and then Arkios as I have mentioned. And there's actually a variety of architectural softwares that I want to test out how it works with my VR headset and what my experience is. So that is on the roadmap right now. So if you guys are aware of any other architectural VR softwares out there, then just do let me know about it. But today I just wanted to focus on the headset itself for now and actually do the formal ceremony. So there you go. I announced that headset as the best VR for architecture. If you have liked this content, please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to continue watching these type of videos. And thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye.